Success for everyone is different. Some will want financial freedom, others will want to take over the world, and for some, it will be to live a simple life out in the wilderness. Recently, I've been more motivated than ever to work for my dream, for the goals I have and more. So I want to share with you how I plan to become successful. Over the last few months, I've decided to take a full 180 on the person I was becoming, working on myself as an individual and also taking action to push me to be the best me that I possibly can. From reading books like Atomic Habits to watching Matt Diavella's incredible YouTube videos. It's safe to say I've consumed a fair amount of content in the last few months. But for those of you watching, we could all probably point out that consuming content isn't what is going to make you successful. Taking action for it is. We as humans are controlled by our emotions. Every decision is based on those. What we will get out of a situation, how something will be beneficial to us, and more. We are selfish by nature, and something that was evidently clear when consuming all of this content. We always want the quick fix, the 6-minute guide to six-pack abs, or the 6 steps you need to take to financial freedom. We want that goal to be achieved with the path of least resistance. We want to be known as someone. We want authority. We want to lead. Often what we choose is the path that will never get us there. So why is this relevant? A study conducted by Ellis just on this summed it up in a great way. If you were in an orchard trying to decide what sort of apple to choose, most of the time we would think we would go based on size, shape, colour, or more. However, what if we looked at it in a way to obtain said apple? If we saw an apple at the top of the tree and one at the bottom, which one is going to be more appealing? The study actually suggests that the one at the bottom will look the best, purely because it has the least resistance, even if it's not. Adding on to this, when something is often harder to get, whether that be our goals or the dreams that we have, we often think it's the wrong choice, purely based on the effort that it's going to take to get there. The point of all this is to explain to you why successful people can understand their emotions and mindset in a different manner, and why they actually become successful. They understand and are able to distinguish between the long-term and lasting results that are going to change their life for the better, rather than the small short bursts of dopamine that you often get when you see a like on your social media page. One will take you to everything that you've ever wanted. The other, probably nowhere. You hear people talking all the time about how likes don't matter, followers don't matter, and maybe for a second you believe it. Then you go back to drooling over 10 likes on the post you made and constantly refreshing your page to see if you get more. It's a vicious cycle, but there are ways to escape it. First, what I decided to do was install a Google Chrome extension that hid your follower count and likes on any social media platform that you choose. Your focus is to be creating content for the sake of creating content and bettering yourself as a creator, not for the likes and followers that you're going to get. Yes, from an analytical perspective, it's important to look at the numbers and see how you can develop yourself through the things that work and the things that might not so much. But I know for me that I got so wrapped up in the numbers that it stopped me from sharing my creative freedom and truly being me on a platform that's meant to belong to me. Next, I set time aside each day to respond to things on social media. Granted, I still mess up on this sometimes, and it's something I need to continuously work on. But social media alone isn't what's going to make our career. Yes, for some people, that is. I know for me, social media is a very toxic place, and it doesn't bring me that much happiness when I'm seeing this negativity over and over every single day. As well as growing your business and scaling it to the next level, social media alone isn't going to do that. It's going to take a lot more work in a lot of different areas in order to maintain and build the true foundations that will push your business not only for the next few years, but decades after that. Finally, I actually decided to delete Twitter off my phone. Moving away from social media was one of the biggest challenges for me to start moving in the right direction, as you find yourself often scrolling for no reason, waking up in the morning and instantly checking your phone and social media. It's like going downstairs and grabbing the junk food because it's easy to do instead of cooking something. You know it's probably not the right thing to do, but you do it anyway. All things I've done, by the way, on countless occasions. This all relates back to the dopamine effect that you get from social media and all the things that we have learned in building these bad habits. My goal was to let go of these negative ones and start building good ones. Over the last month or so, I have been building better habits, or working towards building these better habits anyway. and let go of a lot of the negative ones that I had in my life prior. Like for instance, pick up my phone as soon as I got up in the morning, or spending too much time watching YouTube when it never really pushed me forward. There was a lot of small things that I was doing, and it wasn't until I took a conscious effort to realize these things did I start to move away from them. So I'm going to go over some of the habits that I'm building right now, and how they have maybe benefited me and potentially could benefit you if you were to give it a go. The first one I started with was the easiest for me, and that was fitness. I have loved going to the gym for a long time, and obviously with this coronavirus, I had to stop for a long while. We decided to order a home gym and get some weights, nothing too fancy, just something that allowed our fitness to be present. Over the last month, I've done this consistently and has helped me a lot more mentally than I thought. I didn't realize the power of just waking up in the morning and being able to go and work out from the comfort of your own home. It's something that has truly helped me in a lot of different ways and was the building and stepping stone, or my foundation, to building these better habits. You see a lot of successful people who do just this, and they have the time to work out. You saying that you don't is merely an excuse and probably lacking, as you'll sit in your bed as soon as you get up in the morning for an hour and a half watching Netflix. Again, something I've done before. Next, I followed that up with reading. I love listening to podcasts and I love watching educational YouTube content. Things like that inspire me to try to work hard in my business and really start standing out from the crowd. But I knew if I wanted to become a social media and mindset coach, like I've started over the last 2 months, I have to have the knowledge that can compete with other people who know way more than me. Yes, it's important to sell in a way that you're expressing yourself fully and showing off your transformation in your journey. And this is exactly what I'm doing. I want to prove to people that you can really go from someone who doesn't know anything and really starts and shows off that full journey, not just when they get there. Since then, I've read my first hard copies. I've not done that since high school, so that was a big step for me, and I'm continuing this every single day. It's been truly incredible to have. Continuing on with the good habits, I've been consistently listening to podcasts or books depending. Reading the books is a lot different to listening to books, so I class that as my sort of podcasting good habit, where I'm listening to something educational that can push me forward. This can be related to the stock market, finances, mindset, marketing, and more. 3 other habits that I'm slowly building up right now is working on my university work. I'm currently studying marketing and business every single day, something I never really done when I was at uni the first time. So this time around, I've been doing it every single day to make sure I'm getting at least some education in when it comes to that front. Meditating is something I've also started. I'm not the greatest at it, but it has calmed me down in certain situations and got me ready for the day. And the final one that I've been working on is journaling or using a diary. Recently, I purchased the 6-minute diary and I've got no affiliation to them at all. However, even the start of this diary has been the most eye-opening thing ever. The reason I was so bad at journaling was because I just didn't have a structure towards it. I didn't know what direction I was going and I didn't know why I was doing it. So whenever I've tried to journal in the past, because I knew how beneficial it was, I stopped really quickly. Because there was no structure, there was no system in place that actually gave me benefit for doing so. However, this 6-minute diary has truly been eye-opening to me so far, and I'm really looking forward to building this habit and becoming more of a grateful person, not only in my life, but trying to radiate that off of others. I truly now realize the power of gratitude, and something I'm going to try to express a lot more in my life to make me a happier me and more accepting of what I do. Granted, all of these habits are probably not going to last forever. There's some that we will slip up on days, and I want you to know that is okay, because there is days that we do that. Furthermore, something I would always want to go back to is Matt Diavella's 2-day rule. If you miss one day, that's perfectly fine. But the sooner you can get back on that horse and start working again on that habit you're trying to build, the better. The longer we leave it, the easier the bad habit remains in our life, and it starts to build up again. Just like anything, we have a choice with what we want to do and why we want to do it. So it's your decision today to start building those good habits or not. All of these I'm going to be continuously working on every day to see what works for me and what sort of routine is going to be the best to build my habits in the greatest way possible. A bell in my head started to ring after seeing stories of successful person after successful person listing out the things they do at the start of their morning to focus on them, their mind, their body, their soul, and all that sort of stuff. And that really cannot be a coincidence when so many of these people perform gratitude on a daily, try to work on themselves physically and mentally, and push to be their best self. And something I'm also trying to work to do. I truly believe that success isn't just built up on you becoming successful financially. It's about becoming successful within yourself and building happiness that carries you on even in the darkest days. You're not going to have every day being sunshine and rainbows. It just doesn't happen. But if you build up enough gratitude and you have the days where you're down, you're able to appreciate what you have and what you can continuously work for. Even waking up in the day is something so simple, but something we take for granted. I know it sounds stupid and some people are even just going to laugh at it, but I believe that to be one of the truest statements that anyone could ever say. I heard these absolute horror stories on the Mindset Mentor podcast, talking about how these extremely successful people have lost all their money or have never found happiness in what they're doing as they're just terrified to lose what they've worked for. Now, to me, that doesn't scream successful. To me, that just is not what I'm wanting for myself, and probably something you don't want either. This is why I'm making such an effort to focus on me first and foremost, before trying to make these massive jumps in my business and become successful as I've named this title. The most important person to start with is you, because you have to live with yourself 24/7. You make all the decisions, your emotions drive you, and you need to make yourself okay with being you. The final point I want to talk about today is people. We treat others like crap every single day. We huff at someone who cuts in front of us at traffic. We moan at someone who's made a post on social media we don't agree with. It's an endless cycle of hating on one another for the smallest things that really make no impact on our life. In all honesty, we don't deserve what we have at all. We have zero respect for what we have got and the things that we have been given with the advancements of technology and you even being able to watch this video. In fact, right now, I know there will be people judging me based on this title alone. People who didn't even click on the video as they thought I was so over my head naming a YouTube video like this when I have merely just started my journey. What I've noticed in extremely successful and happy people is that they're not so quick to judge. They analyze situations in the best way possible and come to a conclusion that may not be the best for everyone, but the best for themselves. They hear different perspectives, want to learn from everyone, and be someone who is extremely grateful for everything that they've got. Not for the finish line that they're reaching, not for the next if statement of when you get somewhere, but truly being grateful for the present and what you have right now. My mission is to learn from Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Some of the stories in there are so riveting of how people have lived such a successful life purely based on treating others with respect. And that is what I want to live by. Now, for some of you watching this video, might think I'm over my head, and I may be, but I'm aiming high for my goals. I want to become successful. I want to be financially free. I want to make a positive difference in this world. No, in fact, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be financially free, and I'm going to make a positive difference in this world. Because I have that choice, and I have that choice to be successful. Have a fantastic day. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video on the channel. Understand I don't do these too often, but it's sorts of videos I really want to get into. I want to thank all the patrons who continue to support me in doing what I'm doing, and all the links for some of the research I used down below. There's also some of the books that I would recommend if you want to check any of them out. Be sure to hit that subscribe and smash that like button if you enjoyed the video. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch.